Welcome back. We turn to Jason again for weather. Jason.
I'll tell you what, Lindsay, it's been a long day. We've been watching Gustav here at the station. We still have many more hours to come. The weather got pretty rough around 7:45. Right. I hope Dimitri O'Connor was okay outside there. We had wind gusts around 25 miles per hour, a lot of rain, and we have more of those bands, those outer bands associated with Hurricane Gustav to come. So we'll go ahead and switch now to our Alpha Skycam network. New location for us here, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we had some rain bands there earlier a couple hours ago, but now things have sort of subsided a bit. So there's the traffic. The traffic actually not too bad there on the highway. We'll go ahead and switch to our Gulf Shore Skycam now. The camera getting a little shaky here over the last several minutes, getting wind gusts as high as about 35 miles per hour right here along the coast. Not much rainfall there, just about 0.02 of an inch. We'll go ahead now and switch to our weather computer and show you the very latest on Gustav. First, I want to start out with a local view. Boy, these showers are moving very quickly. A couple hours ago, we had quite a bit of rainfall. You can see that pushing off to the west here, and we sort of hit a lull in the activity, but we'll see more showers flip around here throughout the next several hours as Gustav gets closer toward us. See the rain bands on the northern fringes of the storm getting very close now to the coast, actually already making landfall here around the coast of Mississippi and getting close to New Orleans as well. Some pretty intense rain bands at that. And you can also pick out almost the center of circulation here. The radar only goes so far because of the range. We don't have radars in the ocean, unfortunately. So you can't see the backside of the storm, but still a pretty large storm with very strong winds. Here's the latest infrared satellite depiction. This is actually not the eye. It's sort of deceiving here, this little dry spot that popped up. But the eye, the center, is right about here, still on that northwesterly track at about 16 miles per hour. Tried to strengthen earlier in the day, got a little more symmetrical, meaning the eye is closer to the center, but still having trouble encountering some dry air and some wind shear as well. So the latest as of 10 o'clock from the National Hurricane Center, peak winds still at 115 miles per hour. This is sustained winds. And the pressure has come up a little bit to 954 millibars. Motion out of the northwest at 16. So here's the cone of concern. We want to stop it for you when we think it'll make landfall. The eye, that is, probably around the daylight hours tomorrow morning, around 8 o'clock in the morning. And of course, we'll see those outer bands wrap around here and cause some potential problems for us. A lot of times when you have that circulation, that spawns tornadoes, as we saw with Faye in central Alabama. So we'll go ahead and take this farther out into the future for you by Tuesday. Notice how much this storm slows down. It's going to be dumping a lot of rain in portions of Louisiana, and we'll probably still have some trailing bands in our neck of the woods as well. So it'll be a few days before we stop feeling the effects of Faye. This is the wind field. In the wind field, the hurricane force winds have expanded a little bit since the latest advisory. We're now seeing a hurricane force winds up to 70 miles from the center and tropical storm force winds about 220 miles from the center. And we'll put this into motion for you, get an idea of how close it will get to Meridian. It'll actually get pretty close. And so we'll probably see wind gusts around 40, 50 miles per hour as these rain bands move closer. And then eventually will dissipate as we get into Tuesday night. We'll weaken pretty quickly. It's looping again. Sorry about that. We'll go ahead and advance to the next graphic. I want to show you what kind of watches and warnings we have in effect. Because of those winds getting closer to us, there is a wind advisory in effect for most of the area and a tropical storm wind warning in effect for these southern counties. But I expect and would not be surprised if these tropical storm wind warnings shift farther north as Gustav approaches closer. And just want to show you the local impacts, what we'd expect. I told you about the possibility of tornadoes. We'll definitely have to watch out for that. And around Meridian, looks like we'll see gusts between 35, 50 miles per hour. A little stronger gusts as you work to the southwest, and hurricane force gusts in the extreme southwestern part of Mississippi. So here's the next 3 days. What we think will happen, a very good coverage of rain for tomorrow, very windy, and Tuesday, much of the same thing. And then by Wednesday, we think some of the remnants will be pulling away, and then by Thursday and Friday, I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Things will be shaping up rather nicely. It looks like another dose of rain as we get into the weekend. I want to remind you here that Chief Meteorologist Trent Hughes will be here all night. The weather team will be watching this very closely, so we'll be giving you some updates, hopefully around the top of every hour and Stephen Bowers will be here tomorrow morning. Also want to remind you about our hurricane page, too. A lot of useful information there on the WTOK website.
And we'll also be streaming our broadcast live on the internet, on our web channel.
Thanks for mentioning that. That's true.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Well, look for Mississippi. All right. Most of our